Breaking news, President Trump hinting at a major expansion of American military action in Venezuela.
We are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
President Trump confirmed moments ago authorizing a covert CIA operation in Venezuela.
Aquí no se rinde nadie, carajo. Aquí lo que vamos es para adelante con la fuerza de los indios.
Open source flight data reviewed by CNN tonight shows that 3 B-52 bombers took off before dawn from a U.S. Air Force base in Louisiana and flew off the coast of Venezuela today for more than 4 hours. Is there a legal basis?
I can't see any legal basis for it.
No evidence was given who was on board, what they were carrying.
Could we be on the cusp of a deadly war in the Americas?
Trump claims he has stopped 8 wars. So why is he starting a new one? Why is Trump, who has said a zillion times that the war between Ukraine and Russia would never have started if he were the president, now training his guns on Venezuela? There's no doubt that the South American country is in Trump's crosshairs. He's made it clear that he wants Maduro out. Trump has sent an armada to Venezuela's shores. There are 10,000 U.S. troops there, most of them at bases in Puerto Rico, but also a contingent of Marines on amphibious assault ships. In all, the U.S. Navy has 8 surface warships and a submarine in the Caribbean. And what's more, the U.S. just carried out a 5th missile strike on a suspected boat, killing 6 more people off the coast of Venezuela. A 30-second video, which Trump posted on Truth Social, appeared to show a stationary vessel in a body of water being hit with a projectile before exploding. He said that the 14th October strike had been carried out against a designated terrorist organization. He did not share details of the strike. It was the latest such operation in recent weeks as the U.S. builds up military forces in the region. The U.S. has blown up 5 such boats so far, killing 27 people in all. A day later, on 15th October, 3 B-52 bombers of the U.S. Air Force were spotted near Venezuela. They flew through the Gulf of Mexico, passing between Mexico and Cuba before approaching Venezuela and circling over the Caribbean Sea. Trump further heightened fears that the U.S. might be preparing for a full-scale invasion of Venezuela by saying that he is considering strikes targeting Venezuelan drug cartels on land.
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
Trump also confirmed that he has authorized the Central Intelligence Agency, the U.S. Foreign Intelligence Agency, to conduct covert operations inside Venezuela.
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela is feeling heat, but I think a lot of other countries are feeling heat too.
It's the New York Times that first reported this classified directive. It said American officials have been clear privately that the end goal is to drive Maduro from power. Just so you know, the U.S. has a long history of covert action in Latin America and the Caribbean. In 1954, the agency orchestrated a coup that overthrew the then president of Guatemala, ushering in decades of instability. The CIA-backed Bay of Pigs invasion of Cuba in 1961 ended in disaster, and the agency repeatedly tried to assassinate Fidel Castro. That same year, the CIA supplied weapons to dissidents who assassinated the leader of the Dominican Republic. The agency also had its hands in a 1964 coup in Brazil. Not to forget the death of Che Guevara and other machinations in Bolivia, a 1973 coup in Chile, and the Contra fight against the leftist Sandinista government of Nicaragua in the 1980s. That's not all. In 2010, the then U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton issued a formal official apology for a U.S.-funded syphilis experiment that took place in Guatemala during the 1940s. In the experiment, U.S. doctors deliberately infected hundreds of Guatemalans with sexually transmitted diseases without their consent. Venezuela has rejected Trump's bellicose language. In a televised meeting with his military brass and supporters, Maduro blasted the U.S. for its failed forever wars in Afghanistan, Iraq and Libya.
No al cambio de régimen que nos recuerda tanto a los
No to regime change, which reminds us so much of the endless failed wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and so on. No to CIA orchestrated coup d'etat, which recalled the 30,000 disappeared in the CIA-backed coups against Argentina, Pinochet's coup, and the 5,000 young people who were killed or disappeared.
al golpe de estado de Pinochet y los 5,000 jóvenes asesinados y desaparecidos. Listen to me.
Listen to me, not war, yes peace. The people, United States, from the people, Bolivarian Republic.
De parte de the People Bolivarian Republic.
Maduro has repeatedly alleged that the U.S. is hoping to remove him from power. The U.S. has put a bounty of $50 million on him, double the bounty on Osama bin Laden. Maduro has since ordered more military exercises. State TV showed images of armored vehicles deploying in a Caracas suburb. Now, these strikes indicate Trump's efforts to use U.S. military power in new ways, from deploying active duty troops in U.S. cities to carrying out counter-terrorism strikes against drug trafficking suspects. But are they legal, is the question. Some are of the view that the explanations given by the Trump government for killing suspected drug traffickers at sea instead of arresting them fail to satisfy requirements under the law of war. But Trump defends his actions by saying that taking politically correct actions has not helped in the past. He's even joked about how U.S. strikes in Venezuelan vessels is having the desired impact on the ground, how it's making people nervous about venturing out to sea.
That nobody wants to go fishing and nobody wants to do anything near the waters.
But jokes aside, why is someone who called himself the peace president and peacemaker in chief spoiling for a fight with Maduro? Well, it has something to do with geopolitics, code for China. Venezuela sees China as a geopolitical ally. China imports large quantities of oil from Venezuela. A Chinese military blogger on the video platform Bilibili has analyzed Venezuela's importance to China in both strategic and practical terms. He says the decisive factor is geography. Venezuela sits close to the Panama Canal, one of the world's most vital shipping arteries, and only about 1,700 kilometers from the U.S. mainland, well within the range of medium-range missiles. For Beijing, he argues location is the real reason why Venezuela has become one of China's closest partners. The blogger suggests that the U.S. sees Latin America as its backyard and cannot tolerate a defined Venezuela trading oil outside the U.S. dollar system, which recalls the fate of Iraq's former leader, Saddam Hussein. Therefore, from Beijing's perspective, Venezuela is a frontline partner for China in balancing U.S. influence. But that's not all. Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves, enough to rival Saudi Arabia, as well as massive deposits of natural gas, bauxite and iron ore. Also, coltan. Electronic devices rely on components containing elements that are extracted from coltan. From smartphones to laptops, a range of electronic devices have coltan as a fundamental building block. Add gold, lithium and uranium to the mix, and what you have is a mineral jackpot. Evan Ellis, a Latin America researcher at the U.S. War College, has said that the fact that the U.S. ships sailing off the coast of Venezuela have soldiers on board suggests that the U.S. might be planning some kind of escalation. Now, Ellis would know, for he has served under Trump during his first term. So, is an all-out war imminent? No one knows for sure. For whatever it's worth, Polymarket says there's a 56% chance that a direct US-Venezuela military clash will erupt by 31st December. Polymarket is a US-based cryptocurrency-based prediction market. It's in the news for correctly predicting that this year's Nobel Peace Prize will go to Venezuela's Maria Corina Machado. Just putting it out there.